Hi everybody, it's Diana with StampingWithDi.com, and I'm here with this week's Teach Me Tuesdays, and I'm 15 minutes early, only because I still have this vertigo thing going on, and I finally got in to see the doc. I think it's my left ear, and being deaf, you know, I wear hearing aids, so I don't want anything to happen to the hearing that I do have. So I just think it has something to do with my my left ear. So it's got my equilibrium all messed up. So I had to pop in a little bit earlier so that we can leave in time. So I'm having Jeff drive me just because I don't know if I should be driving if I'm loopy. So anyways, so that's why I'm a tad bit early, so hopefully you saw that when I made the event today in the group. So I'm going to be totally not even doing Christmas, you know? Everyone should have their Christmas cards done, and I thought I would have fun with some sunflowers, of all things. So that's what I'm going to be showing you. So let's get the phone turned around and we will get started. All right, so hold on. Around and around. All right, so that wasn't too bad. Okay, so the things that I'm going to be using today are, I'm going to be using the stitched rectangles. I'm just going over into the group real quick, make sure I'm where I need to be. Hi, Lee. Okay, so I'm going to be using the stitched rectangles, and it's so funny. Look how pretty these are. But then I have several of them. This is what mine usually looks like. So I thought this looks much prettier for the camera, but that's usually what mine look like. Okay, so I'm using the stitched rectangles. I'm also going to be using the jar of flowers. And this, can you believe it? This was the first time I have inked up this amazing set. I don't know what was wrong with me, but it is. And then I'm also using the Under My Umbrella. This has got such cute little greetings, and I wanted to use the It's Your Day. So what I did was I just looked through my catalog for small enough greetings to use. And then I'm back here. So I want to show you what I did for the card. So what I'm doing is I'm using my Stamparatus, and I inked up my little stems. So I put my stems on my Stamparatus, and I'm just using the Memento because I'm going to be using the blends. So I inked those up. Push real good. And then what I did was, then I took my sunflowers, and then I put them on the plate above. So by stamping the stems first, then I could lay the sunflowers over top, and then I would know, like, okay, that's going to be in the right spot. So by using both of the plates, if you're making multiples, you can just go boom, 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 you know, at one sitting. All right, so then I just inked up the sunflowers. Make sure that's in the same spot and that it didn't wiggle on me. Get that good and inked. And then give it a good rub. Oop, wiggle my thing all over the place. And then I just carefully lift it up. And then I have my stamped image all ready to go. And then I could do multiples and multiples and multiples. Now, I just used a big piece of paper just to show you, but you know, you could make it be like a smaller piece of paper if you wanted. All right, so then I'm just going to set this behind. Hey, Teddy. All right, I love, even if I'm just doing one card, I usually use my Stamparatta because you can make a boo-boo and it's easy to fix it. All right, so then let me show you what else I did. So then I want to put the vase. Now you could do the same thing. You could put the vase on another plate, you know, and then mess with it. But the little jar is easy enough to stamp that, you know, I didn't. But what I did was I stamped the flowers on a Post-it note. Now these are Post-it notes, and I got them on Amazon. I pretty much get everything on Amazon now since I don't leave the house. But these Post-it notes stick everywhere except the very edge where this little line is. That's where you can grab them. But the whole Post-it note is sticky. So they make masking very, very easy. So then what I did was I stamped my flower on the Post-it note. Then I cut out the flower. And then you want to kind of cut it so that you're cutting away some of the stamped image so that you don't get the ghost. And what I mean by the ghost is you don't want that white line so that you can tell that you masked. So I'm putting this on here. And see how it sticks, like the whole thing sticks? So it's super, super cool. And then I'm just taking my vase or my mason jar and I'm inking that up with the memento. And then I'm just going right over top of my flower. So now I have my jar on there, and let me get my scissors because now when they're sticky, you have to like lift because I cut away the non-sticky part, so I should have like left the sticky part, and then you just peel it away, and then your flowers are inside the jar instead of having that jar line over top. So now your flowers are inside the jar. So you could use this, you know, quite a few times, you know, just try not to keep getting your hands on the inky part. Okay, so then let me pull one aside that has dried a little bit, you know, has been sitting a little bit. All right. Then I'm just going to use my Stampin' blends to color it. All right, so let me get all my blends over here. And I used quite a few colors because there's all these pretty flowers. So I have a whole bunch of them. All right, so let me scoot down so you can see. Let me turn this light on. There, hopefully that's a little brighter for you. All right, and hopefully not too many shadows. All right, so hopefully that's better. The phone is always in the way, right? So there's always going to be a little bit of a shadow just because of the phone. But, all right, let me put my magnet back before I'm sticking it somewhere else. Okay, so let's start to color our pretty flowers. So the first thing I want to do is I want to put a little bit of a shadow around the outside of the jar, and I'm just going to put it on this side. And this is just a light mint macaron, and I'm just going to hit it just a little bit here and there. Not like totally, and then it'll be a little bit here, just where some of the light would hit it. All right, so that was the light mint macaron. All right, then I'm going to do my glass jar. So we have light gray granite, and I'm going to go around the edge with the light gray granite. And we want to get that glass look. So there's a little bit of a shadow. So that was a light gray granite. And then I'm going to take my light pool party. So if you watched my video the other day where I did the Santa, wait, what is this? Yeah, that's the light one. When I did the Santa, it was the same thing. Now this is a new light pool party. So it's good and strong. So I'm just going around the edges. So it's like loaded with ink. Okay. And then I want to take, so that was light pool party and light going gray granite. And then I want to take my light balmy blue. And I'm going to take my light balmy blue and I'm just going to add a little bit of lines as well. And this is just going to give you a few different shades of blue water. And then the light seaside. So I've just got a few different colors of blue in here, because you would have the mason jar itself would be a color, then you have your water as a color, the leaves are a color, so there would just be all these different colors going on. All right, then the actual stalks are going to be Granny Apple. So we have our dark Granny Apple. And that's just going from the top down. So that's dark Granny Apple. And then I'm going to take the light Granny Apple and I'm going to come from the bottom up. So I'm going to come from the bottom up until it touches that dark. And then it doesn't soften it too much. You have that more distinctive line. Like that. Now we have our stalks in there. Let's see. And then I want to take, now this right here, I was always like, what the heck kind of plant is that? See that funny looking one back there? Now I live in Arizona, so to me, it almost looks kind of cactusy, you know, with those angly things. So I'm going to consider it some sort of succulent, whether it is or not. So I'm just taking the dark Just Jade. It almost reminded me of a Christmas cactus kind of look. So I'm just taking the dark Just Jade and filling that in. I also want to take a little bit of the Just Jade here where those leaves are, and here as well, and here. It's like you always see something later. Okay, and then just come in with the light Just Jade and fill it in. So again, come from the tip down to the dark, because I want to keep that dark. I don't want to lighten it too much. What's fun about coloring nature, you really can't mess up flowers because flowers have so many different colors. All right. So then I'm going to take my light flirty, my dark flirty, and my light mango melon mambo. So my light melon mambo, so it's just going to be in the center of these flowers. I also want to put them over here. And I want to put it in here, just to kind of balance that color out a little bit. All right, then I'm going to take my dark flirty and add a little bit. Not a whole lot. And there's not hardly any to add to there. And then my light flirty to finish it off. So that looks good. Then I have my dark pool party. So this right here, I'm going to pretend it's like some sort of feather or something like that. So I'm just using my dark pool party and my light on the end of it. Let's see. Looks good. All right. Then we have the sunflowers, which to me are the most funnest part of the whole thing because I love sunflowers. All right. And I'm going to take my dark soft suede and I'm going to put a little dark soft suede here and in the centers of the flowers and just along the edge. So along the edge here, on the edge here, and just here. And then I'm going to take my light soft suede and add a little bit as well, not a whole lot, because what I want to do is I want to finish this with the cider. Now cider's not one I usually grab, but it looked very, very cool. So this is the dark cinnamon cider, and it gives it like a real pretty red kind of brown look. So I'm adding that, just lightens that up a little bit. And that was the dark, and then finish it off with the light cider. So it just gives the sunflower just a little bit of a different look to it. So I liked how that turned out. Let's see. I'm sorry, I'm like totally like so into my coloring, I'm missing your talk. Oh, Haley, I know I could color all day long. Dimensional color much more. It is, you just kind of play with it. So, hey Jan. So don't be afraid of it. Like try not to be afraid of it. And it's just paper. It's just ink and paper. If you mess it up, it's okay, right? So, all right. Now for the sunflower, I'm using the dark Mango Melody, and I'm just doing the centers. So the center is going to be the dark. You can tell that I use this one all the time. He's about getting to the empty part. I have a few ready and waiting to take over when this one is dry. I always have a stash of other ones ready to go. When I used my last whatever color, I always get another set. All right, so that is the dark mango. And then I'm going to take the dark daffodil. And I'm going to come from the edge into that mango like I did before. And this is just going to give it more of a different yellow than just using mango for the whole thing. Just because the colors are a tad bit different. So this is the dark daffodil. It's a little bit more of a natural kind of yellow. I don't even know what to call. I'm just making up words right now. But okay, and then I will take the light one. Oh, that's okay, Jackie. At least you're here. I know I had to come on early because Toby, because I have a doctor's appointment, and then UPS is at the door. Toby. So it's just crazy here. All right, but I didn't want to have to be rushing. So I thought, well, I'll just come on 15 minutes early So that's what I did. That way I can get to the doctor's a little bit earlier. And luckily, he's just up the road. Hopefully it's something simple, because it's not fun to be loopy about fall over half the time. All right, I just have to keep my head still. All right, there we go. So that looks good. Now, if you want it to be darker, because to me, I would like this to be a little bit darker in there. So I'm going to come over and grab, let's see here. Do I want to grab, nope, not that one. Not that one. Cajun. So this is what I do. I go over and I grab stuff. All right. Because you can't really mess it up. So I'm just going to put a little bit of dark. So this is just, what did I pick? This is a light Cajun. So I'm just kind of giving it these quick little pulls. So I'm actually pulling from this part into it. So just so that I have a little bit of a more of a shadow in there, because it was just too yellowy. I wanted it to be a little bit more with the shadow. So again, this is the light Cajun Craze, and I'm going to flip this marker over so I have the solid, the stronger tip. Then I have a little bit more control. But see how that's adding some more shadow into there? It looks a little more lifelike than if I just left it yellow. And that's what's so fun about them, because you can't really mess it up. Because see, I'm just looking at it and going, okay, well, this needs to have a little bit more dark there. So see, I'm just adding color on top of color. You can't mess it up. But that looks pretty good, right? And then see how that white areas are in there? I don't like that. I don't like that white in there. So I'm going to take the light Pool Party, and I'm just going to put some color in there so that there isn't that white showing through. And you could do it with, you could even do it with the yellow. So it was just more sunflowers back there. But I just didn't like to have that white showing through. All right, but that looks pretty good to me. All right, so let me look at all these markers. All right, so let me put all the markers out of the way. And then what I want to do is I'm going to take my white gel pen, and I know we don't sell white gel pens, but I always have them on my desk. They always go when I have an event. Everybody always gets one just because they are so handy. So what I'm doing is I'm just taking my gel pen and I'm just putting some little dots in the center of that flower. I'm going to put a few little dots in the center of the sunflowers. And it's just going to add a little highlight to them. I mean, there's no rhyme nor reason. It just adds that pop of brightness to the card. Let me get that out of there. So see, super cute. All right, so that is there. Then I also want to do that little greeting. So remember I said I'm going to use the greeting from the umbrella set. So this is just what is this one? It's Your Day. And this is just a piece of scrap paper. So it's your day with the memento. And then I'm going to punch it out with the classic label punch. Make sure it's good and dry. Hey, Marcy, I had to scoot out of your live to get over here for mine. All right, so I'm just waving this around so it's good and dry. All right, so then I'm going to put it in the punch, and I want the punch so that the pointy end is more towards the end of the greeting. Hopefully that's straight. All right, so I have my little greeting. All right, so now let's get the card pieces out. So I have crumb cake. And my bone folder. Here's my bone folder. All right, let me scoot up a little bit. Now I'm like too close. All right, so I have my crumb cake. Then I have a piece of Daffodil Delight. And what I want to do is I'm going to glue this card cattywampus. So it's going to get glued kind of like crooked like. All right, so before I glue my daffodil, it's been forever since I roughed up the edges of cardstock, but I want to rough up the edges of the daffodil. And I'm just taking the edge of my scissors and I'm just dragging it along. And this is just going to, you have to blow the paper fibers off that get all over. So this is just going to rough up my paper. But what it does is it also makes it almost look thicker, like it's got some thickness to it. So that's going to get glued on to here. And I'm just using up old, now I'm using Snail, I swear. Now I'm using Snail Adhesive. I have so much adhesive, it's coming out of my eyeballs. Maybe that's what's wrong with my Vertigo. All right, so we have this kind of crooked on there. And then I'm going to do the same thing with this piece. So this piece is going to go crooked on there too. And this is from the Flower of All Season, I believe it is, DSP. So this is part of the suite that goes with the with these guys, with the jar. All right, so I had that. And then this is going to get popped on here. But before I pop it on there, I'm going to take our handy dandy little foam mat. Now this is like they took it out of the catalog, but it's still in the catalog. So if you need this, let me know and I can send you the item number. But anyways, okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my poker duty poker tool, and I'm going to poke a hole here, not a big hole, and poke a hole here. So they're just kind of smallish holes. And then I'm going to take my linen thread, and I'm not measuring it. I'm just like cutting a bunch, way too much, like way too much. But like I always say, we're trying to earn the trip for next year, so if I have to order extra linen thread, I will. Okay, so then I have these two extra long pieces of linen thread, and then I'm going to take this thing. So I had used this before, and so what I'm doing is I'm going to take this threader thing, needle threader, it says right on there, and I'm going to poke it through the hole. And then I'm going to put and I probably could have just used one. All right, so I put the thread through it and then just gently pull it through. You don't want to rip your paper, so I'm just gently pulled it through. Then you're going to do the same thing on the other side. So get the other ends of that extra long thread and put it through the hole. Oh my goodness me. Get in there. Anybody can do these videos, people, and this just proves it. All right, and again, pull that through. So now you have your linen thread coming through your card. And it's 20 times longer than you needed. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie this. Get over there. So then I'm just going to tie it. And then just fiddle fart with your tails. And one would be plenty, but this kind of reminded me more of raffia, you know, when there was more than one. So just play with your things. Okay, because see, I've got enough for 6 cards now. All right, so then I'm just going to, so I just kind of hold it like this. Can you see that? Because I do want it to have some motion. Like, I don't need it to be that long, but all right. But I did want to have some motion, you know, with the thread, so it's all kind of wiggly and stuff. So this is why I stamped and punched, so that I wanted this to the side, because I'm going to trim this off. Yeah, because you could punch now this. So then this is going to go up here, because this actually has a punch. And I'm looking on my punch thing. Oh my gosh. It's probably like right. Oh, here it is. So this stamp set actually has a matching punch. So you could punch out, you know, you could have punched out the jar, you know. But I wanted to keep it one layer, and I didn't want to have to cut out the flowers, so that's why I masked. So but yeah, so there's the jar, and then it has the super cool let me trim this just a little bit more. It has this super cool domes, the mason jar domes, so that you could make a shaker card. So it's super cool. All right, so that's good. So then I'm just going to take a glue dot, and I'm just going to, kind of like how I did the donkey card the other day, where I made it look like the tag was hanging, like was part of the that was attached to the bow, but it really isn't. It's just attached to the card. All right, so we got this crooked thing over here, and now I'm going to put this on here. And I'm going to use dimensionals because I want it to pop. So I just grabbed the baby ones. So I'll put a couple extra since I'm using the small ones. And I'm putting them into the center so we don't have a saggy center. And then flick those off of there. So you like that, Lee? Yeah. And I'm a big anal. Pictures have to be in the right order, like size-wise on the wall and stuff. And Jeff, he will like purposely hang things so that they're not, just because it drives me up the wall. But so this is kind of a fun card because you are getting that crazy motion. You know, it's not. It's got all sorts of stuff going on, right? It's all like wiggly and wobbly, but it's super cute. All right, then I have a piece of DSP that I'm going to put on the inside of the card. Now this is, I cut it long enough because I wasn't sure if I wanted it on the side. I think I want it on the side instead of down here. And then that way I can write my greeting. It almost looks like the binding of a book this way. And then I'm just going to trim off the thing. And basically this little strip is just left over from when I was trimming for the front of the card. So never throw away your strips of DSP, because now you've got this pretty card with a little thing on the inside. So, and it's your day is a perfect saying because it could be, you know, it's your day birthday, it's your day whatever. So but I thought it turned out super cute. I thought anyways. Don't forget, before I forget, to tell you that today is the last day to sign up for the Zany Zebras class in the mail. So don't miss that. Super, super fun. And then Marcy and I have so much fun stuff going on. So we have the Over the Border stuff coming up. In January is our first class. The fourth Saturday of every month will be a class that you can do through Zoom. We will have a private Facebook group for the particular class or event. And so we're excited to do that with you. And then as well as the Country Inkers virtual spring social in March. So more information will be coming in regards to the Hello Dear Friend class that's in January. And then the registration is already started for the virtual spring social. So you want to make sure that you holler at me or Marcy. If you're in Canada, holler at Marcy. If you're in the States, holler at me and get yourself registered. And we can't wait to share our weekends and stuff with you coming up, for sure. So I hope you like that card. I'm going to have to make a couple more because it's fun. And I do like sunflowers, for sure. I have them all over the house, on my body even. So this is going to have to go over on the shelf with my potted sunflowers. So, okay, so I'm going to stop jibber-jabbing so that I can get in the car, and I'll let you know what the doctor says about my vertigo. Oh, it sucks to get old, but I guess there's worse things, right? Okay, enough from my blabbing, and I will say see you tomorrow, because my What You Making Wednesdays will be tomorrow, and that's going to be live on my YouTube channel. So hopefully you subscribe to that over there. If you don't, please subscribe. Please thumbs up wherever you are, and always let me know when you're here visiting. So I will see you tomorrow, 2 o'clock. It's at 2 o'clock Arizona time. All right? Have a great night, everyone. Bye for now.